Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L. Now let's talk Dragon Ball Super, episode 123, Afterthoughts. So last week's video got a lot of comments and there were a lot of little points to address. And I just found it really interesting how people were caught up between it's Ultra Instinct Blue or it's just something else like Super Saiyan Blue 2. So I kind of just want to make a video for where I stand on it and why I stand on it. So just going to go through the stuff, going to point out my reasons and the evidence that I have to support that reasoning, and then just kind of go from there. And thanks for everyone that got really involved with that video last week. There were a lot of cool comments to read. Anyway, this video is going to be mostly focused on Vegeta and his ability and his form and just what's going on with it and what we've seen so far and my opinions based on that. And yeah, so let's just get into it. So first off, some things to acknowledge before we really start talking about it. The spectators for episode 123, everyone in the stands, they were using some dubious terminology like breaking through his shell, and that was previously used on Goku. Critical thing here is whether or not you think Ultra Instinct is the only way to break through a shell, because I could see very easily people saying it's Ultra Instinct because he broke through a shell. It'll happen. And truthfully, I think it probably isn't. Example is Jiren. He's much stronger and you don't see him using Ultra Instinct. Like, these guys are breaking through their shell to get to Jiren, and Jiren has not shown any kind of hint that he can use Ultra Instinct. So assuming that Ultra Instinct is the only thing out there, I think it's a bit risky. Another note, and this is on the details of Vegeta's form. Vegeta's eyes do take on a level of detail that looks similar to the Ultra Instinct eyes. This one's a bit harder to deal with unless we accept that it's just a design aspect without too much thought put into it. You could even say they want the two guys to be equivalent, so they gave them like similar designs when it comes to these higher forms that they've gotten now. Oh, and just to clarify there, like I'm aware Ultra Instinct is an ability, but it's changed Goku's appearance. So it's an Ultra Instinct form, and that's what I'm referring to. Another point that was thrown out in the video last week on the comments was the existence of offensive Ultra Instinct. That idea can still be thrown in there. I personally think it would be great if Vegeta got offensive Ultra Instinct while Goku got defensive. That'd be an excellent way to contrast the two, but at this point it's still a bit unclear whether or not that's going to happen. Like, we might just have a Goku who has the full Ultra Instinct and Vegeta doing his own thing. Another point to keep in mind, especially in Super, is that Vegeta's already set a precedent that he can, for some periods of time, surpass Goku in a given form. The earliest example was Vegeta versus Beerus after Bulma was slapped. At that point, Vegeta's feelings gave rise to a power that exceeded Super Saiyan 3, and he was not in Super Saiyan 3. This just establishes how far Vegeta's feelings can take him, and that the idea that Vegeta can develop a form more than Goku isn't impossible. And this is especially more prevalent when you consider Vegeta spends more time than Goku training in general, especially when you get the Room of Spirit and Time involved. That out of the way, just points to keep in mind, let's go into why I think it's not Ultra Instinct. So first off, going back to episode 122, Vegeta showed that he can read Jiren's attacks without Ultra Instinct. This was important because it proves that you can do this without Ultra Instinct. You do not need Ultra Instinct to approach Jiren. In Vegeta's case, I see this as just Vegeta's own skills of observation. I don't think anyone can argue against this logically. We saw it in the episode. This point just establishes approaching Jiren can be done without Ultra Instinct. Second point, Vegeta just isn't moving in the way that Ultra Instinct allows. When you see the way Goku did it, there was something graceful, peaceful, and serene on his face when he was going through it. Vegeta doesn't have that. Like, this is just an extension of Vegeta's personality and approach, pretty much. Ultra Instinct allowed for a natural kind of reaction to opponent, while Vegeta's reactions here just seem like an extension of his previous abilities. The only thing that seems to have changed is that now Vegeta's grown to the point where he has the ability to react fast enough to keep up with Jiren. Third point, Vegeta's whole rhetoric before going into the form. Vegeta's pride is powering this a lot. He had great lines like he can't give up on who he is and all that, and that can be reflected in Vegeta embracing the Saiyan's unique forms, right? Like the Super Saiyan forms and the Super Saiyan Blue. Those are all things that are unique to the Saiyans. If Vegeta was wanting to follow up with his pride, he would use the forms of his people. We know that that's a really big deal for him. So on the rhetoric side, it's poetic justice if he continues along that line. And then you have to consider he's already established that he doesn't need Goku's Ultra Instinct. And truthfully, that could imply either that he doesn't need Ultra Instinct in general, or that he doesn't need the particular strain of Ultra Instinct that Goku has. I do believe it's the first one. But the second is a valid interpretation, and that was pointed out in the comments last week. Anyway, when we see him powering up to this form, it looks like this is just a man who is brute forcing his way through, that he's going to break through his shell by his own effort, instead of just accidentally surviving a spirit bomb. Another minor point, Vegeta does this while thinking about a person, Kaba. Ultra Instinct doesn't seem to be linked to feelings, whereas the Saiyan burst of powers due to hurt loved ones, or Saiyan burst of powers while thinking of hurt loved ones, those are within the realm of possibility for Vegeta. We've already seen it with the Beerus moment that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Moving into another minor point, if Vegeta actually had Ultra Instinct, he could coordinate with Goku properly. I mean, after all, he would have the Ultra Instincts to see what Goku is doing and time it. That said, that could also mean that offensive Ultra Instinct does things differently, if you want to argue for that one. And then the final point, just to hammer it home, Vegeta surpassed his limits in his own way. He said that much when he went into the form. When you hear this and you see it, why would you say it's Ultra Instinct? How would you argue that point and not take away from what Vegeta was saying? So, other miscellaneous points now. Did you notice Vegeta got bulkier? I thought that was a nice touch. And another question is, what is Vegeta's new form equivalent to? It seems to be able to keep up with the now more powerful Kaioken Blue. And we know that Kaioken Blue got more powerful because Jiren acknowledged it. Attacks got sharper. So anyway, it would be great if Vegeta's form gave him some type of boundless type effect, and that he could just keep pouring out more raw power to keep scaling up with Goku's forms. That'd be really neat, and I could see them balancing it out by saying it kills Vegeta's stamina the more he uses it or the longer that he's in it. That's a fair compromise. So overall, I think this is more likely to be a Super Saiyan 2, or if we want to get really cool, a Super Saiyan Blue Unlimited. But if we're talking making Vegeta better, I really wouldn't mind if spectators said that Vegeta's form makes it look like Ultra Instinct. Heck, even if he got some flashes of Ultra Instinct while he's in it, as a fan, I want Vegeta to compete with Goku, so if we get that, I would be very happy about it. But right now, from everything that's been given to us, it just seems like this is an extension of the Super Saiyan God forms, that Vegeta pretty much went to the equivalent of Super Saiyan 2, because we have to also remember, I believe Blue happens when a Saiyan that's gone beyond Saiyans activates Super Saiyan, right? So the idea that Vegeta could activate Super Saiyan 2 while he's in this form, it's not unbelievable, although the logic isn't exactly there to justify it. But if we have that kind of equivalent form going on with Vegeta's new blue form, I think that's totally fine, and I think that's more likely than saying he has Ultra Instinct. The biggest point against this, though, that I see so far is the design of the eyes, and it really comes back to whether or not you want to call out that design element for indicating something more. But right now, from what we have seen, I have no real evidence to believe this is Ultra Instinct Blue. And another thing is, would they really give Vegeta Ultra Instinct Blue and not give it to Goku first? Nah, man. They've already put Goku on that track. There's no way they're gonna make Vegeta better than him in that one regard. No. I doubt it. This is the Goku show, not the Vegeta show. But anyway, guys, this video is more of a discussion. I am very excited to hear what you have to say. What do you think is going on? These are my points. That's my evidence that I have. If you guys can come up with some points and present me the evidence, I am totally fine to look at it and possibly agree with you if you have some pretty good points. That said, let's end it there. Thanks for watching. Till next time, I hope you have a great day.